Good morning, second grade families. It is Tuesday, December the 8th, and it's Miss Bland jumping over to give you a good old overview of Tuesday. So, if you're watching this video, you are a member of My Track A kiddos, and I'm excited that you're back for day two. Now, you took home a packet with you last week, and we talked a little bit about it, but every day Miss Bland likes to kind of go over where you are, what you need to be working on, what you need to be doing. So, just in case you forget or mom and dad need a reminder, then here you go. So let's get started. First and foremost, two things. Your ELA work, of course, is in your packet. You have your packet questions for today. We'll talk about those in just a second. And then you also have your math work. Remember that math is in Seesaw, which is our LMS, our learning platform. It's in Seesaw this week. So make sure you work on that. We'll talk about what topic you're covering for math in just a few minutes. So let's get started with what you did yesterday. Yesterday, you had your study guide sheet. Up at the top, it gave you your 8 new, not really new, review vocabulary words. You had these vocabulary words last week for your story about Mr. Butter. So these words are not new to you. You've seen them before. And remember that in your story, Star and Night, for this week, you guys see those words in yellow boxes: adventure, grumbled, delighted, moonlight, dreamed, neighbor, enjoyed, and nighttime. Take a moment to think of 2 words, pause your video, and make up 2 sentences in your mind that go along with those words. Pause here. Great. Share that sentence with someone, maybe the person helping you with homework, or maybe the person that's helping you, or mom and dad when they get home tonight. Either one is fine. Repeat the words after me: adventure, grumbled, delighted, moonlight, dreamed, neighbor, enjoyed, nighttime. We've also been focusing on compound words. 2 of our vocabulary words are also compound words, which ties into one of our skills. Make sure you know which 2 they are. The genre this week was fiction. It told you about the parts of fiction, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. You were also going to fill in about your characters. You had a part at the bottom that you were working on that talked about how they feel, their viewpoint. How the character feels in a story often changes. So it's important that we know their viewpoint in the beginning. And we also know maybe sometimes how that view changes before the end. You're going to talk about sequencing, and those starting words for sequencing are called transition words. And transition words are important because they tell us that something is about to happen or transition, which means to change. So it's important that we know those too. On the back. On the back, we find that you had to do some information. Locating information we like to call text evidence. We like to look in the story and find it. Then we talked about the viewpoint for Josie and Lee and how they felt about weekend homework. How would you feel if Miss Bland gave weekend homework? I try not to, just for that reason. Compare and contrast the sky. We talk about the sky. You guys have been outside and seen the sky before, so you're pretty good with that. Remember, for Venn diagrams, both sides and the middle is what's the same. Always try to fill in all 3 parts. At the bottom, you were talking about suffixes, adding FUL and LY to the end of words. You found maybe a word in your story, but Miss Bland wanted you to use your brain and come up with some words on your own. Figure out a word that you could use to give me that full or ly. Remember that when you have FUL, it means you're full of something. If I'm successful, I'm full of success. If I'm joyful, I'm full of joy. That could be super exciting. Remember that if you're using ly, you feel a certain way. I did it happily. If I did it happily, I was excited about doing it. I wasn't like, oh man, I don't want to do that. I was excited about doing it. So you should be the same. You don't need to fill up the whole box. Just give Miss Blaine a couple of examples. Get mom and dad to help you if you can't think of any. But make sure that you choose words that have your FUL and your LY. And the biggest part of that sentence says to circle the root word. So if I write the word joyful, I need to put a circle around JOY. That's my root word. It's joy. So make sure you've completed that. Then you're going to move on to Tuesday. Tuesday's page does say Tuesday at the top. Cut off a little bit of my T on the copier, but it says Tuesday. You have 5 questions that deal with your story, which means today you're going to reread. Means again. Read means read. So reread, read again. We're going to read the story again. Whole story out loud. 2 times would be great. You are going to complete all 5 questions. On the back, you have a story map. You are going to do the problem and solution, characters and settings. You want to be able to tell me the steps that they took to solve their problem. And don't forget your title, because that's always important to know. So let's jump in and see what ELA is all about. See Ms. Bland's screen will share. Here we go. Our essential question this week is, what can we see in the sky? And we want to talk about the things that we see outside in the sky. And your story of Mr. Putter and Tabby that you were with me last week, it talked about the sky. And this week is no different. We will continue to talk about the things that we can see. Ms. Bland's mouse is not working. There we go. There we go. So your story this week is Starry Night. Starry Night is a fiction story. It's a story that has made up characters and events. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it may include dialogue. Dialogue means the characters talk. And in your story, there is some conversation, which is a big word for talking. And so there is some. So make sure you look for that in your fiction story. We talked about, just like with Mr. Putter, that this story is made up. We can't go find Josie and Ling sitting down in Bailey Elementary or at Cooper's or at Middlesex or anywhere else. This is a made up story. There's a plot. That means there's going to be something that happens in the beginning, there's a middle, and there's something that happens at the end. That's the way of telling our story. This week, you will work on being able to sequence the story, being able to put events in order that they happen, and being able to understand the first, the next, the then, and the last. Being able to start at the beginning, tell me what happened next, what happened then, and last. Being able to do that in order is important. When you get ready to come to school in the morning, you don't put on your shoes before you put on your socks, do you? And you don't come to school before you get dressed. Oh, heavens no, don't start doing that. So we have to remember that sequence does indeed matter. Problem and solution. The plot often has a problem. We have problems everywhere. We can have problems getting dressed in the morning. We can have problems trying to get to school. We can have problems just watching the TV if the batteries in the remote died. So we have to have a solution. In the picture, the boy has a flat tire. Now, I don't suggest you try to change mom and dad's tires, but if you've learned how, then it's a little different. And so you're able to have a solution to the problem. He knew that the tire was flat, and the solution was a new tire. In your story, Josie and Ling have a problem, but they found a way to solve it. Of course, I talked about rereading a little bit earlier. If you're having a hard time understanding text, you can often reread it. But even if you're not understanding it, even if you understand it, you need to be able to reread, because rereading means that you're getting a new understanding. It may not be a better one all the time. You may have understood it yesterday, and you may have thought, I got this, and I can just answer my questions. But Ms. Bland really wants you to reread. Read your story again. It makes a difference for fluency, moms and dads. It makes a difference for comprehension, moms and dads. It makes a difference. So please have them reread. And we focused on commas a little bit before. You will not see those today. You will not see similes today. So we want to make sure you're ready for those parts. But make sure for your work today, you are good to go. Now, that's reading. For math today, Ms. Bland has you working on your 10 more, 10 less skill 2 ways. You will see your traditional 10 more, 10 less with your T, where Ms. Bland has given you a part of a hundreds chart. You are to fill in the missing number, or Ms. Bland will give you the T, and there will be a number in the middle, and you will fill in 10 more, 10 less, 1 more, 1 less inside of the T. That will be the first part. I think there's about maybe 6 or 8 of those. The second part of your math assignment digitally in Seesaw today deals with 10 more, 10 less, 1 more, 1 less, but it deals with the arrow method. The arrow method we went over for module 4. Remember, we started module 4, but we didn't dig real deep. We just wanted to hit the surface a little bit. And so with the arrow method, remember, you're going to start with a number. If it says plus 10 on the arrow, then you'll go up 10. If it says plus 1 on the arrow, you'll go up 1. And your job will be, for the first set of slides, just to put the number. For the second set of arrow method slides, you will be using the equation part. So they will give you the equation, and then you will go from that number to the next by doing a break apart. You can do a number bond. Ms. Bland has examples inside of the Seesaw. So look back at the example slide if you get confused. Make sure that if you have trouble, that you try it again. But remember that if you struggle, we don't quit. We try it, we give it our best effort, and then we will move from there. We will go over it together again. We will see arrow method lots of times in Eureka this year, so it's okay. But I do want you to give it a good try. Reading. Remember that Ms. Bland has you doing self-selected reading. I would prefer that you read something inside of Epic so I can see what you read. And I would also love that if your book has a quiz, you would take the quiz on the end. But If you get caught in a bind or you need to ride with mama to Target or whatever the case may be, and you need to read a book in the car, and you may not have internet in the car, but you need to read a book, a hardcover book. Hardcover books are still amazing. So read your book and just write down the title so that Miss Bland will know that you did read for today. Remember to remind moms and dads that if you don't get to your seesaw today, that you give Miss Bland a thumbs up, a heart, a Christmas tree, because I love Christmas trees, that you'll give me some kind of way of knowing that you did do your packet work so that I can mark you present for today. Nobody wants to be absent. So work on that too. If you need something, you know where to find me. Send me a great dojo message or an email, and I promise I will respond as soon as I can. I will get to you at office hours this afternoon at 2, if not before then. So make sure that if you need me, you reach out and let me know. More than happy to help in any way I can. Your packet work is ready. Seesaw, I believe I have it set to go live at 9, maybe 8:30, 9. I can't remember. Wait till 9 just to be sure. I think it's 9. I don't know why I chose 9, but I think I chose 9. So check at 9. Seesaw should be live at 9. And if you need something before then or after then, you know how to find me. Have a wonderful day. I miss you tons. Be amazing. Be great. Be safe. And I will see you guys face to face in January. But I'll see you screen to screen on Zoom on Friday. Take care. Love you bunches. Be good. Be amazing.